Indeed.
All right, welcome everyone to the May 6th, 2026 edition of the Troutdale Citizens Advisory Committee. Call the meeting to order. Dakota, can you get a roll call, please?
Of course. Committee member Castillo-White?
Here.
Chair Kester? Here. Wallace excused. Committee member Minkoff?
Here.
Committee member Long? Here. Committee member Rizzo?
Here.
Committee member Terrell? Committee member Barney?
Here.
Vice Chair Stephenson?
Here.
Committee member Knight?
Present.
And committee member Sanchez?
Here.
All right.
Thank you, Dakota. With that, I will invite everyone who is able to stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, now with that done, we'll go to agenda item 2, public comment on non-agenda items. Anyone who wants to bring something in front of the Citizens Advisory Committee on a non-agenda item, feel free to unmute yourself and state your name and your item.
Chair Custer, Paul Wilcox, Troutdale.
Go ahead, Paul.
Thank you. There's a couple of terms I hear frequently in the CAC meetings: community engagement and citizen involvement. And somewhat related to that is recruitment of city committee membership. And I just wanted to share with you guys what the latest results were from the last round. There were 15 available openings, not counting alternates. That's another 6. So 15 voting openings. 8 incumbents reapplied. 7 incumbents did not apply or reapply. So there's going to be some empty seats coming up. So I just wanted to make you aware of not a heck of a lot of interest. There were two brand new applicants, but you're coming up 7 short. So as I said, there's going to be some empty seats. Thanks.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Paul. Although after a couple banner years in a row, I guess we can't hit them all. So we'll see how that goes. And once again, thank you, Shelby, for stepping up to sit on that selection thing, since I can't.
Because you're up.
Because I'm up this year for my term. So anyway, any other public comment?
I have a question. It's not an agenda item, so that's why I'm bringing it up now, but we got the champion today. Actually, Paul sent Jonah an email regarding this. I was going through it. I haven't had a chance to read it all, but I did look online when he brought this up. I'm curious, who's in charge of writing the champion?
So,
who is it, a group effort or?
So Kelly Graham, downtown in our admin office, she's the one who puts it together, and she does a call out for anybody who has an article that they would like to be entered. So that's when some of the articles are written by our city manager, Mike. Some other, like I've written one for some projects we're doing. I know Mike or Nick's written some. So it's kind of open. She sent it out for anybody that would like articles to be added to the champion.
Okay, another, like, it's happening a lot less than it used to. It's only what, twice a year now, or wasn't it 4 times and now it's less?
No, it was 6 times a year, now it's 4.
It's once a quarter.
Okay, so the one thing that concerned Paul noticed, and I'm a proponent for dogs, like I'm huge about the dogs, right? There is a small blip in here that says no unleashed dogs in our parks, sidewalks, or streets. Every year, the city receives numerous calls from citizens reporting unleashed dogs in city parks, and all were accompanied by their owners. Please remember that Sunrise Park is the only city park that allows dogs. And they must be leashed at all times. And then it talks about showing respect to your neighbor and cleaning up after your dogs. I don't know how this got in here. Like,
Does it have who it was written by?
no. So like, I'm really curious, because it doesn't mention our off-leash dog park that we actually have within our city. So like, now this isn't gonna come out for months to come. Like, is there a way we can, when something usually is published in a paper, what's it called when you recall it, or there's usually in the next one, they're like, hey, this was wrong, we apologize. Because there's dogs allowed in almost every single park now, except for Glen Otto. And I wanna say, like, they don't want them on the playground at Imagination Station or on the ball fields, but that's where our off-leash dog park is. So the signs in the parks have been updated, but they're definitely allowed in all of our parks. That was passed by our city council. And so to see this it's like really frustrating to me, because I've trying to tell people that dogs are welcome here, and this makes it seem like they're only allowed in one park in our city. So how do we go about, my question is, like, can they put a note on, like, online somewhere that that's wrong before because this is not gonna come out for another how many months?
Yeah, I mean, I would recommend letting Kelly know that there is an error. And typically either they'll post something on the website, on Facebook, on social media, something like that about the correction.
So get a hold of this person and send her an email. I know it was sent to Jonah, so it might already be happening.
It could be, yeah.
But,
Obviously, that wasn't written by Jonah, because
No.
he
That's the thing
knows
is,
which
like,
ones are his.
If an article comes in by somebody, obviously somebody sent this in.
Mm-hmm.
Is it someone who doesn't live here?
No, because I believe the champion is primarily for city, things going on in the city, and then.
This is what blows my mind, is that people live here know that the dogs are allowed in all the parks. And so like, I don't know how this got passed and got published. So I guess my question is who, like, when this goes out, is it going to the different department heads? Like, hey, this is written about is this correct? Who's fact checking this? Is it all on Kelly?
I believe so. I mean, I think Kelly does 99% of it. I'm not sure if she has people that fact check, proofread, stuff like that. I don't know, because I'm not involved. I know she's just the one that if we have articles we want in there, we send them over to Kelly. And so I know she's the one who handles all the, like, we just got the notice, hey, if you want something in the next one, this is your due date to send me your article, type thing. So yeah, I'm not sure if she's getting assistance or if it's just all her.
Okay.
I know she does heavily the majority of it, which does, it's a lot of work.
It is a lot of work. All right.
You know what, they've had a really good article before where dogs are allowed and they aren't allowed. So maybe that could just be replaced in the front, like in the City of Troutdale website, or even the other one, Explore Troutdale. You know what I mean? Maybe it can be done, we already have it. I don't know how that happened, because I think I read that and I go, what?
Yeah.
So
I don't want anybody to think it's changed.
no, but
So
when
it's
you get in front of the media, said oopsie doopsie, oopsie poopsie, or whatever. And then,
Just kidding, our bad. We like dogs.
yeah. So anyway, I know, that's, like I said, there's good stuff out there already, because we've had these discussions before, and when they came up with their conclusions, when they were saying which park, to what capacity, et
There
cetera.
was an article about
Yes,
this.
it's already
allowed
there.
in all the parks.
Yeah.
That's why this was so surprising that it's in here.
And they could do it in a
They
positive way.
didn't even mention our literally, we have an off-leash dog park. Everybody always thinks when you say off-leash dog park Troutdale, they think it's 1,000 acres, which doesn't even belong to Troutdale, and it's not fenced in.
Yeah.
What
So,
is the off-leash dog park?
Like Columbia Park.
Oh, I didn't even know
It's
that.
it's in the area behind
to the
Imagination Station.
left
back
of the
in
water tower. It's kind of hidden in a little foresty area, but it's wonderful.
Yeah, so my point was to try to, in a positive manner, let people know where they
A
can.
reminder where they can go.
Yeah, but
And that we're welcome, and there is an off-leash space for them within our city.
Yes, but outside of that off-leash
They need to
space,
be on a
please,
leash.
dear God, keep your dogs on a leash. Go ahead.
However, I would like to just emphasize what Tiffany's saying here and how can we voice to those who, I guess, oversee Kelly's work or the decision makers, and how do we advocate and state, this is a big job. We're noticing that key things are missing that are actually confusing to our residents and the people who live here, and how do we better resource or give support or have a checks and balance method for one of our strongest methods of communication to the residents of the city.
Is it
You know,
possible,
and-
is it possible for us to proofread it at all? Any of us on CAC? Because we're super involved in the city.
I don't know what the process is, like I don't.
I'm gonna send her an
I
email.
know it's a timing thing too, so that's
Because I've asked this question before, because there have been many times where there are events that are noted in the Champion that that happen before the Champion actually hits mailboxes, and that's a timing thing that the city has very little control over.
Yeah.
Shelby, I think that Kelly really is not, I could be wrong, but I know I've submitted stuff to her from public safety. We've submitted articles and stuff. And she's just worked it in, and it's been everything I've sent to her. So, I mean, I don't think that she edits. Maybe she looks for spelling mistakes, so I'm not totally sure, but yeah, I've submitted a number of things to her, and actually Public Safety is meeting tomorrow night about an article we're going to be submitting too. So, but it's gonna be on the next Champion, obviously, we just missed the deadline, so. I'm not sure exactly, but she's really great to work with. I mean, she's really nice, but that obviously slipped through. I mean, somebody submitted it to her, or, I don't know.
I would love to know who submitted it.
That, or it's like, oh,
Where did it come from?
maybe we need to do an article, pull one, we need to fill in one for the dogs, and they pulled an old one.
I suspect it was something like that. I
think they
mean,
pulled
that
it
seems
in.
the logical thing. It was just pulled out of a.
It's funny that the dog in the picture is not on a leash. There should be a circle with a line through him. Sorry.
No, but I mean, sorry, this is Rebecca again. But I think that this was, I mean, it's a really timely thing for you to bring up because, you know, as later on down in our agenda, we are going to be talking about the planning of our town hall. And I think knowing key people like Kelly is going to help us, you know, get the message out and communicate and stuff. So, as you know, as well as what, you know, Paul said as well in his comment about the lack of interest in joining the committees. It's absolutely one of our main goals of why we want to do the town hall, so very timely, both of them.
This is Tiffany. I will say, last year, Frank and I really pushed. We put posters all over town, and there was a fairly large pool candidate last year, but I don't think it came from our posters. I think it came from people who saw it in the paper. I personally was frustrated because it felt like a lot of the spots just went back to the people, like to the same people. We did get some new people, which was positive. So I didn't really push for it this year because I felt like all the same people are just gonna reapply, but I guess they didn't. If 7 didn't reapply, that's interesting to know. Just a side note on that.
This is Rebecca Sanchez. Question, is there data that we can look at for the past, you know, few years, 5 years, 10 years, for us to see who applies, how many of them are incumbents, how many of them have been on what committees and who is selected to move forward? So we can see, is there a pattern of recidivism? Is there a pattern of big blocks of not getting new people, and what do those times look like? Like, is there data we can look at that we can then influence how we can?
I suspect that exists. Paul, you would probably know better than I do, because I know you tend to track these kinds of numbers. But I know my gut feeling is that for some years, it was pulling teeth trying to get people.
Yeah.
And last year's recruitment effort and the response that resulted from it was definitely an outlier. So we'll see how things go. I mean, it's certainly something that we can keep an eye on. But
Can I say one
yep,
thing about that?
real quick.
Just a thought, we've never done something like, as CAC, like put a call out to like the Gresham Outlook. They don't have a lot of articles. So that might be something we could get them in, take a picture, what if we do our, whatever we're gonna do when we gather together and then ask, what's his name, Kaiser? Does anybody know the gentleman that's always at the news events? It's mainly this one young man. So like if the bridge is being worked on, we're having a grand opening or whatever, there's this specific young man that keeps showing up and taking the pictures, whether it's a dedication of the park or whatever it is. But that might be a good idea, so we could try to do a couple of things that, and make an interesting story included with that, and then maybe get a little interview or something like that. So try to reach outside of our pool. And just the Kelly thing real quick, that'd be interesting to find out who does it, but my little short list of people that would work for the paper, if there was a double check, would be Marley, Mayor, City Manager, Erica Palmer, and department heads. If it pertains to, like, if it's dog related, I don't know, just a thought. Kelly does a great job, and I haven't,
Right, yeah.
that seems like out of the ordinary.
I will say, if there's something that pertains to a department, the department heads typically already review it before.
See, yeah, but if there's no policy in place, that's what I'm just saying.
But I just know that department heads are extremely busy and do not have time to review the newspaper before.
Okay.
I know, like Erica, I went and asked her a question the other day and she was so slammed.
Okay.
She's like, we can talk about it next week. Like, not even enough time, 'cause she has deadlines as well. And I know it's the same for all department heads, so when
When I meant department head, I meant if it pertained to them.
Yeah, when we.
You know what I mean? If it was
when we
sewage,
write
that
it,
is a department head.
Like, when I write the article, it's reviewed by Erica before I send it.
Okay.
Type thing, just like we do our QAQC in-house. I believe that's the standard for most, but again, I'm not entirely sure. I just think it would have to be, I'm not sure, I'm sure someone else reviews it with her. Because I know when you stare at something long enough, and even if you take a break, you come back and there's still going to be something. I mean, that happens to me all the time. That's why there's always like a missing period here, a spelling incorrect error there. So I'm not sure if she does have someone else that's looking at it, because she could. But I just think that it'd be a lot to ask others that are so busy all the time to take a look at the entirety of, to do like a QAQC on it. But I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not sure where her process is. So I think that's the first step, is just seeing where her process is.
One more thing on recruitment efforts for the committees and commissions. Next year, maybe a good idea would be going to all the businesses within Troutdale and letting them know that it's happening. Because as a business owner in Troutdale, business owners are allowed to be on the committees and commissions even if they don't live here. Just some of the committees
Yeah,
and
I think
commissions?
not all.
And some other committee.
Yeah, because I know CAC is one, Historic Landmarks is one,
Here's public safety.
Public Safety.
Well, depending on how many empty spots we end up with this year, and if we have a bunch of empty spots on those ones that businesses are allowed to apply for, it might be interesting to maybe send a letter to the business owners or something like that so that they could get involved as well. I mean, that's just a thought. It would be interesting to hear a business owner's standpoint on a lot of this stuff. I feel like I liked the write-up. There's a write-up in the paper about all the new businesses in downtown, which is really cool. I know that I've talked to a couple of the business owners, and they don't really know these meetings exist, some of them. Some do and are at every single city council meeting, but others don't know that they exist. So it's just a thought. Anyways, I'll stop talking about this. We can move on.
Sanchez again. So going back, so I know Paul went off mute for a moment, but about the data on the applicants for committees. Is that public record? Is that easily visible myself or other residents?
Paul, do you know?
Yeah, this Paul, yeah, Sarah, city recorder, actually has a spreadsheet going back probably 30 to 40 years with every member that's been on every committee. There's a lot of information there, and it tells you how long people have been serving 20, 30 years. And then it tells you who served one term and who didn't even finish out their term. So, it lists their start date, end date. It's good information.
Yeah, okay. And then is there a specifics on the selection procedure, how the selection committee goes about reviewing applicants and choosing who gets approved for which? Like, is there a written out document or procedure that tells you the steps of that criteria and selection, all of that?
Sarah would have that as well.
Because if so, I think on the City of Troutdale website, having that under the selection committee or even under the header of committees would be very good transparency to show people who are coming in who are interested, wary, have never been on a committee, to let them understand like what the process is for them to even like putting in the hat and what they'll be. Because I know when I came as a new member, I was kind of going blind, I turned in my application, I didn't know what was gonna happen, what it looked like, what they were gonna ask even, to be honest. I don't know if y'all remember, I was sitting there and I forgot to mention that I'm a small business owner here in Troutdale. I was just like blank because I didn't even know really what to say. So I think, there's little tweaks that we can do that can show transparency and show ways that can bolster all of the efforts we're gonna continue to do to hopefully boost
Chris?
interest.
I guess to answer that one question, essentially the selection committee, they will interview all the candidates and then they have a discussion where they have a packet where they have like 2 or 3 slots to fill in the names for each committee where the chairs can put like their first selection and second selection and all that, and then they have a discussion and maybe a vote after all the interviews have been done. That's pretty much all it is.
The list of questions that get asked during the interviews are pretty much canned.
Yep.
And to my knowledge, it doesn't change a whole lot from year to year. But as far as the criteria for any individual committee, it's sort of up to the chairperson or whoever the chairperson suckers into sitting on the selection committee.
It's an important job that you've been doing.
So, yeah, and to a certain extent, I'm not sure, it would be difficult to write down coherent criteria because we want a lot of varied things and we want different people to come in sometimes and mix things up a little bit. And that's part of the goal. If you write down too many strict criteria, you don't necessarily get that.
Well, I think, I'm not, my approach would not be a criteria on the person, but by criteria on the selecting committee member, the selection committee. So that we can eliminate, biases, eliminate favoritism, eliminate things like that. Like how do you, like in terms of like how often have they served or not? How many, like what percentage of the current committee is made up of incumbents? How many are made up of new people? Like understanding that we need a balance of wisdom and new ideas, right, in a committee. So I'm talking about like direction versus strict constraining criteria on people. So just wanted to see, and again, it's just a way when people are interested in learning a new thing, the most like unawareness that we can eliminate can help persuade people to give it a try, So
I mean, that's something we probably want to table for further discussion in this group at a future date. And then as far as anything related to the selection committee itself, we'll probably need to take and put in front of city council. Because I think ultimately the decision of who really gets on the committee, the final decision is city council. The selection committee just makes recommendations. Now, I don't remember the last time that the city council ever said no to some recommendation that the selection committee made.
I don't know, I've just heard that, I've heard talked about that it's like trading cards, I don't know. So I just know that some years I haven't been involved that long, but I've heard from other people, longtime people that have been involved, and they say some years you get a lot, some years you get a little, some years it's just, no, it's really easy selection process. We just have the people that applied for, and we can slot them all in, and it just works out great. And city council usually just agrees with it. But sometimes they go, no, I really want. So I guess it's happened in the past. Nothing that I've ever been aware of anybody getting moved by city council. So
The mayor and half the city council are on the selection committee.
yes, they are.
No, exactly.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so and it's,
It defeats the purpose of having two,
Well, this way.
perspectives on it, moving from one to another, if it's almost of the same people from one.
The city council and the mayor are on budget too, and that's gonna happen, so it's, yeah.
Of course, they're in charge of city funds, yeah.
But there's less need for it to get to city council, and they're like, what? You put, for having some issue, someone that has on city council that knows some history on somebody and says that isn't appropriate. I mean, who knows? But that's why a lot of them sit on the committee. So it's not a shock. Like I said, it's usually pretty easy going about it, I think. I've sat in on it for the first time last year, so it's my first time.
but yeah, we can table that and have a deeper dive into the selection process another time.
There's one last comment. I believe that the whole meeting, including the interviews all the way to the selection, is completely a public forum, so.
Yeah, it's all
I
open,
need to be there for
recorded.
just my interview and leave, like, no, you can stay and watch the whole thing.
Even the discussion and even.
Absolutely.
That's what I was wondering, was it public?
Absolutely, been there, done that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, no, and I believe the selection date this year is May 19th.
May 19th, I just got notified of it, yeah, May 19th.
So, yeah, write that date down if you wanna, if you're either going to be there or just interested. So, moving on. Agenda item 3, review and approval of the April 1st, 2026 meeting minutes. Do people get a chance to take a look at those, and do we have any corrections? Victoria?
They do not have me listed as being here.
All right, we can definitely fix that.
I didn't catch that one. I didn't catch that one. I'm glad you did. You would have. I had a question about, under 4A, it said the director will give staff an email address for CAC to use to provide feedback to the county on quality assurance. The director will notify folks about future county work. Did she get you that email, and did we get that? Like, I checked my inbox and I didn't see anything. Just talking about like if stuff's gonna happen, she did talk about the See Click Fix app, but this is separate, so I was curious about that.
I did not receive anything from her.
Okay. And then under public comment worksheet review, it says Chair Coaster said the whole group will fill out the form together if there are public comments. I thought the chair was only gonna fill out the form, not all of us together. Are we all supposed to fill out the form?
Well, my recollection is that ultimately it's gonna be filled out by one person, probably the chair or whoever the chair decides to delegate that day. But the input for the form is going to come from the whole group.
Okay.
So we can probably clarify that, and go from there. Does that make sense? Any other minutes stuff? I know Paul, you sent in a bunch of things that Dakota's already got.
5A where it talked about 3 more food carts are going up at the Troutdale Creative. Is that right, or is that
Yeah,
Troutdale Station?
do you want to take that one?
Yeah, I'll take that. So Paul, that was actually one of the comments Paul brought up. So I mentioned that 3 more food carts are going into Troutdale Creative, and that is the Highlands. And when Paul mentioned like what is the Troutdale Creative, when he emailed us, like that's what the application was submitted as, and so they're kind of used interchangeably, like in-house. I would say like staff. We always reference that's the name of the application. That was the name on the application, so I always refer to it as Troutdale Creative, not the Highlands. But the Highlands is the business, so they're kind of used interchangeably. But as Paul had mentioned, it's probably best to use the proper name for clarity.
Troutdale Station?
Nope, that's the one right here, the one with Wayfinder. That's called. It was submitted under Troutdale Creative. Now it's called the Highlands Food Carts. Yeah. Troutdale Station's over there.
Thank you for clarifying.
I have room for 3.
They had
Yes,
they had a modification to their application for 3 more food carts.
There's an extra, currently there's 2 or 3 tables that are back in that area, but there's space back there.
So essentially, the single-family residence that's right next door, that's owned by the same owner. And the space they were using for those tables and like kind of play area and gravel spot, that was actually on the property of the single-family residence. So they went through and got a property line adjustment to basically expand that, move that property line up to expand the space of the Highlands food carts. And then they came in for their modification to add 3 more.
Anything else? All right, I will go for a motion.
I motion to accept the April 1st, 2026 meeting minutes for CAC as amended.
Second, Victoria.
We have a motion and then we have a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed, motion carries. Thank you. All right, and move on to agenda item 4, discussion item, planning the town hall. Booted from the last month onto this one.
I feel like this will be on the agenda for the next several.
Most likely.
Standing item.
I'll just start us off by, I was tasked with some homework to do. I did reach out to Aaliyah regarding the Sam Cox building for some dates. I just asked what dates are available for all of September into early October. And for the week, as far as weekends, Fridays and or Saturday, I know we talked about Saturday primarily, and everything's available. There is nothing currently scheduled. So now it's just about picking a date that we would like to do. So that's, I think, the first and foremost. We should probably start there.
If I could share a couple thoughts. I think that we should clarify our concept regarding a town hall versus an open house, or maybe some sort of combination of the two. So when I think of a town hall, that's when you have speakers lined up, they sit up there, they give a presentation, they have a 15-minute Q&A, and then boom, it's to the next one, to the next one, to the next one, sort of thing. Is that what we envision? And if so, who would be our speakers and how would we get them there? Or is maybe the concept more of an open house? We have all committees here. Hey, greeter, go ahead and check out. Hey, I have this thing. Oh, you know what? You need to go to Parks for that one. Hey, you know what? You need to go over to CAC for that one. Kind of like that. But then there could also be a hybrid where maybe there is also like a headlining event. Something that would draw people in. There's a lot of big discussion items that should probably come out this summer that we could use as kind of interesting ways to gain attraction to the meeting. But I guess, just my first thought would be maybe like a hybrid where we would have potentially actually on a weekday versus a weekend in the evening time, afternoonish to evening, maybe 7 or 4 to 8, something like that, or however many hours. Where it'd be come in anytime during this time, maybe we can partner with some local businesses to create refreshments or to bring in refreshments or those sorts of things. There's an open house sort of forum, and then it's starting at a certain time. We have a couple or 2 or 3 speakers lined up with a Q&A session after that. I don't know, just really rough, really broad stroke there, but just figured I'd throw that out there.
Victoria?
We do have candidates for city council. So it'd be great if we could hear them in September or October. So that would be town hall. And we could have our tables around also for parks and CAC. So it would be a hybrid approach. But we can see who'd want to come and speak. The other thing I really think is the fire and police. And we should have the city manager and others talking about that. About whether we're getting our own police force or fire district. That's really important and going to affect people's pocketbook.
That was kind of on my list too. That was on my list too as a potential town hall speaker item. I don't know who would do that.
Probably be Mike.
Probably. Candidate one, that's another great idea. I just don't know the legality of what the political thing and this, and I just don't know about that. We'd have to get probably the city attorney. And
I will say that the city cannot put on a quote-unquote town hall for candidates to speak at.
I do agree with you though.
You can't.
Our candidates.
That has to be put on by a candidate.
We would just be talking to all of the candidates.
That's the thing, is that we can't, it's like typically town halls that are put on by candidates or political figures are put on by them. Anybody can come and they can answer questions. They're always at public locations like a school or things. But if this is something that a committee affiliated with the city is putting on, they cannot put it on for candidates to then come and basically speak of what their platform is, what they're running on, because then it can get into a more of a political side. And that could be seen as the city backing one other than another, rather than the city needs to be hands-off, it's up to the people. So that's why it's not good for the city, I don't believe, is allowed to.
That is specific for elected positions. Because things like hired positions, like when we had our little speed dating event for the city managers down at Glen Auto, that was kosher because that's a hired position, not an elected position.
Correct.
So like the League of Women Voters, you put it on.
Yes.
Also, Diane speaking, the union had put it on. I didn't realize that. So a long time ago when we had it at the Sam Cox building, and every candidate that was running, they all showed up, but it was not anybody from the city per se doing that, or so I didn't realize that. So that was the union. Everybody was asked the same questions.
Yeah.
And then it was recorded somehow, but okay, that makes sense.
Sanchez here. I love the idea of a hybrid. I love that idea. I love that you can get the buzz of like, here's like 2 interesting topics, like safety or like, this ongoing construction, and have like a time set up, but then just have like all the committees out there and like a question and answer. I just love the idea of it being just a way to just get people in a room and talking, and We could get a whole bunch of great like stock photos. We could do like a survey space and ask some questions, get data, and like talk about topics and do a meet and greet and get businesses involved. I mean, food. I think that's just really, really exciting. Even like I'm even envisioning, and I'll throw myself, I'll run it, but like having like a little area of like just like information, like how do you submit a comment? Where do you go? What does this look like? How do you, I just learned today, sitting in this chair in this meeting, that you can submit something for the champion. I didn't even know that, you know what I mean? Like, but I have a privilege of being on this committee and knowing that information. So how do we get that information out? And then an opportunity to like ask people, again, another opportunity to ask them, where would you like to get it? So I just love the idea of this buzz of us getting people in there and yeah, I love the hybrid thing. And I would like to, I think it would best move us to not involve anything political. Like this discussion where we're seeing that it's conflicting. If we put that aside, I think that'll help us. Like being involved doesn't have to be political, right? Speaking up, saying a comment, it's not. It's just community minded, community focused, so, yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna, I was gonna say that public safety meets tomorrow, and that was one of the things on our agenda, is to talk about what we're gonna do for the town hall or whatever, the CIC, and I'm gonna bring the information. Well, you know, Victoria's on that same committee with me. So what we were planning to do, and one of the subject matters is to talk about the police and fire or you know, what we're gonna maybe do. We should get information, provide information this fall, so. Yeah, that was an idea already in the works.
Yeah, that totally makes sense, because I followed the budget meeting to kind of ask some questions, because they were talking about possibly budgeting because you got to prepare in case we do our own police and all that. But the questions I had was like, a long time ago when we had our own police, we had, I think, 28 officers. And then we had our own non-emergency line. So when we called, Troutdale, we got somebody right there in the second, not maybe 2 hours later. I don't know what it is now. I hear they're more fully staffed. But so back then, when some of us that have been living here for quite a while, and a community neighborhood policing, so that there was a lot of officers to be able to go through the neighborhoods. So the thing that we were thinking that we missed when we got the sheriffs, and they're going, hey, what's up with this? What's up with that? And whatever. The financing, we may not be able to afford if those people that were thinking that's what it would look like to get our own police. And then also, what do the sheriffs do? What is mutual aid? So the thing is, with that big hot topic going on, my concern, and that's why I spoke at the budget, was where's the community outreach? So that way people that have the questions, well, what does this look like now? This is what we miss. And if it just, what mutual aid will be offered? You know, like I brought up the point that what this truck stop is rated, back when I looked, one of the top 10 most dangerous places, truck stops. And so on the truck stop, the truckers site, a lot of them have listed that as a no-go zone. Why? So it's the theft, the trailers, and just some things going on. Doesn't mean it's bad right now. I mean, this was some old articles that I read, but the things are, what do they provide? What will they not provide? What are we gonna get? What's the benefit? And so again, what the people remember what we had back then, is that what we're going to be able to afford when we say we're gonna get our own police back again? So I'm just saying there's a whole bunch of questions. So if I'm thinking those questions, there's gotta be other people, hopefully, that are thinking, or that explain why with our budget and we're gonna go broke, this is the only, some people might think this is the only option. So, but again, if people don't have an opportunity that's well publicized to get, just ask those questions, and even if it's a question collection, and so that way we pass it on to, you know, will you guys host it with us or whatever, and then also the council gets it, so that they can open up their mind and just understand all the components that the public are thinking. So I tried to do a little bit of that at budget, because but that wasn't really question and answer, but I was confused. If it's already budgeted, does that mean that is going to happen? And did we think of everything, and what is everything? Okay, and then I went back to watching some of your meetings. What is the the name of it, the,
Public Safety and Equity Advisory Committee?
yes. So I was started watching some of those because I go, okay, I need to watch some of those meetings so I could get clued in on these very good conversations that they were having as well. And see, and that's another resource to say, go to these meetings, that these are some of the discussions that are going on, get educated, so then when you come in, then you could, kind of see what the people that have been doing the work, here's the people that are doing the work, and this is what their discussions are, and there's also this Public Safety Committee, so there's two.
Yeah, the Public Safety Working Group is the committee that was working on the police and fire contracts. And what I have to tell you, there's a little disconnect between what actually happened at budget and that committee. That committee hadn't met. Victoria's on that committee, and that committee didn't actually meet. They didn't know about this till budget. So there's a little bit of a disconnect with what's happening in the city and the citizens that are involved. So, sorry, Will.
Okay.
Oh, sorry.
This is a great topic and not necessarily get too deep in the weeds on it. It's a super important topic. And I think that it seems like maybe this might be a good one to put on our list of potential items to really bring out as a keynote or a speaker to bring this out. And so, yeah, without going too deep on it, I totally put that one on the board as an important topic.
Well, and I think what I'm hearing is a definite consensus around a hybrid approach, as far as having one, maybe two main headliners, headline speakers, headline topics for presentation and Q&A with the public, and then have time set aside for people to browse and interact with and ask questions of the committees and other volunteers within the Troutdale structure.
This is Tiffany. An idea that just popped into my mind prior to whenever we choose to do this, sounds like we're looking at September. Could we reach out to people through Facebook, through other channels, to be getting them thinking about questions? Like, what kind of questions would you want answered at this, so that the people that are speaking kind of have an idea of what people, like all these questions Diane has are good questions, and we want the speakers to come prepared so that they can answer those questions. Because a lot of the times at the meetings where they're allowed to talk to us, but council doesn't have to answer anything back, and it would be good to reach out and be like, hey, we're gonna have this town hall. These are the topics, like prior to the town hall, so people can pique their interest and maybe give Mike a list of questions that people might start asking.
Now, one thing to that end, and we can certainly talk to Kevin possibly and put some sort of online poll together through the Facebook group. But we also have, I believe, 2 First Fridays between now and September, at least 2.
Probably the September one as well, the first one in September.
Yeah, that too, but we'll have tabling opportunities where we can gather interest in subtopics. I think there's no question, to my mind at least, that police and fire is going to be the headline topic and is going to be the thing at the top of everybody's concern list. Because, public safety always is, and the potential impact on everybody's pocketbook is gonna make it that much worse. So, barring some other major topic of interest coming up in the meantime, I think it's relatively safe to assume that is either going to be one of or the headliner for this. But in the meantime, we can certainly take those opportunities we have with other city events to gather subtopics, gather questions, gather other points of interest that may come up.
If we know what the question, if we pick a topic for whatever we're calling it, town hall or open house, if we pick a topic, if we do the first Fridays, we can already start asking them what their questions are. What they don't know, what they want to know, or so we can relate it to meaningful input for our, whatever we're calling it, open house or town hall. Because like you said, the budget, most of our money is going towards that, right? Our fire and police and fire, the budget money, the money, the taxes that are.
The property taxes go into the general fund, and public safety stuff like police and fire come out of the general fund. So yes.
Yeah.
And those are the biggest line
Yeah,
items.
Those are the biggest.
And that's already a graph, because I think a lot of the people don't know that. See, when I went to the budget meeting, it's like, this is the amount of money that goes to, you know, the police and fire. And then there's this category, this, and this. So, people understanding, anyway, so you get what I'm saying. So it just, there's a lot of data that could be put out there in boards that can help the people understand, so that they go, well, why is this, or why are we, it just like, the more information that can be put out there visually, and then get opportunity to ask questions or submit, is just a good idea, and then letting people know that is what we're doing, so then they can come to the first Fridays and know that we will gather. And then, of course, another list, and what other your other concerns, do you know what I mean? Maybe topics for later on or whatever, so we care about what they're saying too, but anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, the chief advantage of being able to gather a lot of these questions ahead of time is that we, and by we I mostly mean Mike, will be able to have much more coherent answers for the public during the event if the questions are not being asked cold. So, I mean, preparation time will always help. And there will always be surprise questions. I mean, that always happens at these kinds of events. But any preparation that we can give the people who are delivering the information, the better.
Shelby, I think we have to find other avenues other than First Friday. I don't know, unless it seems like First Friday has more people that are non-citizens that come to it than citizens. So I think we really, our audience that we need is not necessarily at First Friday. So we need to find a better way to connect with them better.
Therein we get to our usual outreach problem, is which is the method that actually reaches the citizenry, because as you say, First Friday, there's a significant portion that are outside of Troutdale. We know that probably a not insignificant portion of the people who subscribe to the Troutdale Facebook group are not Troutdale residents. So I guess my point would be, as we do with most of our outreach, it's any and all. I use all the tools that we've got. We're always trying to think of more, but we use everything. Even if there's a significant bunch of it that's not going to be Troutdale residents, we still use it.
I would think that we also, potentially, like when we did the public safety survey, what did we do? We talked to every committee and said, please, we're trying to rally all of committees, all of them, to help us drive getting results. So I think we would challenge everybody, and we're gonna have this event and we want questions. So talk to your neighbors, encourage them. I don't know, however we figure out a way that they can submit them, drop them off City Hall, email them to somebody's inbox or whatever, I don't know, but just however we can post it on our pages, etc.
I'm not sure I want to do that. Some of the people who live on my street are weird.
Oh, God.
Yeah, but we would get the filter, we would get the filter that.
Personal offense to that.
Mrs. Sanchez, I think a goal for us today would definitely be, now that we know that we're doing hybrid, is come up with a name for it, come up with a date, And then we can get a flyer going, we can have it in paper and digitalized, and then we can start doing this like outreach. It's like starting like in the next couple of weeks, or by the beginning of next month, we should start promoting it. And then we can start, as Will was saying, we can get into the weeds in it, and start figuring out like the program wise, but we should start like the promotion and let's see who can help us. I love the idea of the Gresham, Outlook helping us. Let's get local TV. I know the sheriff's office, their communication, they put out those bulletins all the time. They might put out a public alert, I don't know. But yeah, I started Googling, sorry, I used AI. I started Googling possible names for it, because I think town hall, is not the right fit. And open house, I think, is getting us a little bit towards it, but there's some options like calling it a civic showcase. Meet your municipality, or, meet your town, meet your committee, I don't know. Get to know your community, something that, I don't know, but like maybe a catchy something like that, but coming up with an actual like exact date, getting that going.
So first things first, since at least facility-wise, we seem to have a healthy amount of flexibility, let's throw a dart on the board and pick a date or two as potentials. So
This is Tiffany. I think we need to pick a date, a couple of dates, and ask Mike, first of all, if he's available, because I feel like he's really important to our city manager. And then we need to ask the committees, right?
Yeah.
Well, I think to your point, we definitely would want to talk to Mike, since we're kind of, especially for the public safety thing, we're kind of expecting him to be the headliner face of that. Between any date we pick is we're never going to get everybody. So I think let's get a pin in the board and pick something so that we at least have a starting point that we can start to publicize and start building things around. So if we're looking at September, at least initially, I know the only thing I would say is that and do we want to stick with Saturday? I know that's where we're sort of leaning. I'm leery about weeknights, just because I know we run into a lot of committee meetings. My gut feeling is that Saturday is probably our better bet.
I've just done a little bit of reading on these, and there was a suggestion made, and I don't know if it's valid or not, just something to throw out there. But that typically, weekends, especially with kids go back to school, go on that first week. I think there's a Labor Day weekend in there too. In general, like during the weekdays, can be a better time for people potentially. Things tend to be a little bit more stable. Kids have school the next day, whatever, set. And then it also, if you bridge the gap between like work time and non-work time, you might get some crossover between to become a city employee or a government worker or whatever, might be able to take time to come over and visit while they're on the clock. And then also going into the evening, potentially can bring the other people in too. But I'm up for whatever. I just wanted to throw that out there as something I had read that we could possibly be a draw on weekends. We don't have the answer.
Chris?
I guess one question I had, could have already been brought up and I may have missed it, but I was looking back at the meetings we just reviewed, or the minutes we just reviewed, and I noticed it was talking about research about the shuttle bus schedule. Did we figure out when that is?
That starts, I believe, Memorial Day weekend.
I think so.
And it only goes through Labor Day. I think, yeah.
Right, so anything, so Labor Day weekend is the first weekend in September, so we're gonna, if we're shooting for September, we're gonna miss the shuttle altogether. Although that could also be another topic for people to bring up at our little symposium is what did you think of the shuttle?
Yeah.
And I forget, were we trying to avoid it, or were we wanting it as a way for people to get to this thing when we have it?
Parking is an issue.
Because parking is an issue, I think part of the thought process at the time was it would be a convenient way for people to get to Glen Auto, which I'm certainly not opposed to the idea of pushing this a little earlier and going into late August. Will?
Not to sidetrack too far, but talking about a venue and throwing out another concept, and I would be 100% willing if it's appropriate and okay for us to do. We wanted to maybe reach out to a couple different private businesses to see if they'd be willing to host. The first thing that came to mind potentially would be the pickleball court. And there might be a way for them to utilize the hosting of this as a way to promote their business. At the same time, allowing us the venue with plenty of parking, and gosh, I think they also own a pizza place. I don't know, I haven't approached this, but it's just a concept I came up with, and maybe there might be another place to host it in Glen Auto versus being, just stuck there with the problems that are there, stuck here being a police station, maybe not be inviting to people. Maybe there's another idea that we can have, and I guess the question would be to you, is that even feasible? Can we accept that sort of public-private partnership to put on something like that if they're willing to do that? And I haven't spoken with anyone, it's just a concept.
Yeah, that's possible. I mean, like, the best thing possible is, having the city committee or just the city in general be, having been, supporting our businesses and having the businesses support the city as well. Like, that's that's something that every city is always trying to work for. So I don't believe there's any sort of legal issues or anything like that.
Maybe this is completely pie in the sky, but maybe there's a way to do it there, showcase a local business, have them also showcase maybe some refreshments from their other place, hand out free 1 week trial to the pickleball courts. If they got kids, they can go over to the kids zone over there on that side, and then kind of it's a win-win for everybody. I don't know, maybe it's super pie in the sky, and I don't want to get too off track, but that being said, if the committee wanted me to try to look at that and contact them, or any other ideas for places, I'm happy to do that too. Just to reach out and see what the interest would be in something. Not to sidetrack us, but I just wanted to throw that out there as a potential option.
Where is that? Where's the pickleball?
Stark and Troutdale Road. There's the Learning Academy and there's a gym there.
Lots of parking.
Yeah, across the street from Paws and Claws.
Yeah,
Diagonal.
Right behind the college.
Just the Sweetbriar neighborhood and the Sandy Palisades neighborhood.
Okay, first of all, I like the idea of a weekday, okay? Second is if we did do it at the Sam Cox building, won't be an issue if it's a weekday night. Okay, so I like the idea, but I think that would be almost better for a fun outreach that we do. I don't know, I mean, like, I like the idea of, well, yeah, right, but the police and fire, a lot of people, I think it's good, that's our community, Sam Cox, and it's our community park, and it's also, I don't know how many people have been to the Sam Cox building, so I think it's just a way for re-engage, I don't know, it's just, I think it lends itself to the topic as well, but I don't know, since it's such a, it's a serious issue because it is the financing, but I get what you're saying about maybe not doing it here, although the last time we did have a police meeting, every seat was full, it was completely full, and, right? Yeah, because it is a huge issue, and this is the pocketbook too and all that, so it is a, I don't know. I'm just saying that there won't be any conflict with the parking since it's, if we pick the weekday versus the weekend, and it's more geared towards evenings after 5 o'clock.
Fair, I was just thinking on that
I know,
salesmanship side, how do we hook as many people in as possible?
Yeah.
Sorry.
yeah, for something different, so they can, like, maybe they're curious about what that building looks like, or, yeah, I've been in there just once and I can't even remember the spacing and such. I get you.
Dan, do you remember when we did the survey? We asked people at First Friday if they would go to a meeting. When would they want that to happen? That was one of the questions we asked you. Can you pull up the results to that? Because we got people, some people said, I don't want to do it. Don't pick this day, or there were specific, but again, we were at First Friday and we asked only 50 people. So it was, a small handful of people.
Yeah.
That was a question. If we were to have a meeting or a town hall, when would you be willing to come? That was a question we specifically asked.
Yeah, but, and then, just to your point, I got tons of people from Troutdale, and I could have gone all night. There was a lot of people from Troutdale
Oh,
at First Friday.
I mean, it's.
Yeah, I mean, I was running into, okay, I knew a lot of the people that I was doing it for, it was just Troutdale, I'd go up to them,
When you were-
because we were going up to them. Now, Troutdalians coming to the table that's there is different than, hello, are you from Troutdale? I was hitting them left and right, like I said, I could have gone all night. So a lot of people, to my experience is, a couple times that I've done it, tons of people from Troutdale too. They just maybe not come to the tables. Yeah.
The majority of the people that responded said evenings and weekdays.
Oh, okay, so there we go.
With a significantly less amount saying weekends.
I mean, if that's what we hear, I say we give it a try, and then this is where we can communicate, like, we heard this. This is why we're giving it a try this day, I say we do it.
so then we'll have the more complication with all the city meetings, right?
Potentially, but there are openings.
Parking,
Well, not here,
I'm not saying here, but we would have to go to our meetings, so we wouldn't be able to do the town hall, because we would be going to our meetings.
It's only gonna be
And
one
evenings,
meeting that's.
evenings would be less of an issue down there too, in general, because you're after the prime park season for the summer. And when does Sugar Pine close?
5
Sugar
p.m.
Pine closes at 5. So,
And who is to say, like, say we want to do the first Wednesday, that's our meeting date. We're the ones putting it together. We can cancel our meeting and be at the town hall.
oh yeah,
Love
I mean, that's,
It's the second, the first Wednesday is the 2nd of September.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying, I'm just saying in that second, like, if we were to do it on one of our,
Or the first Wednesday of October,
yeah.
that could work,
yeah.
it's
I
close.
mean,
Like, we would just quote unquote cancel our meeting because we as
I don't think
No,
any committee would be
here.
too hurt if theirs was the one that got canceled.
No, well, it's just like if planning commission, I'm sorry, they have things they have to see.
Yeah, planning commission and city
Yeah,
council.
planning commission and city council are the ones that we can't move, certainly.
That might be something to look at though, because doesn't city council normally meet twice a month, so.
Right, on Tuesdays.
They're on
On Tuesday,
Tuesdays.
I know, but we would
Twice a
pick
month.
the week that is not Tuesday and Wednesday, because they would just have had a long meeting, is my point. So maybe we pick their off week where they're not meeting, so that they don't have to do 2 things in a row, because we want them there. We want our city councilors to be there, hopefully.
Yeah, so city council and planning commission, the second week of every month, they both meet. So it's Tuesday and Wednesday. City council and planning.
So
commission.
if
So it won't be
we,
the second
if we forego our September meeting to hold this, that's September 2nd,
That'll be before Labor Day.
which will be before Labor Day.
So we could use the,
Is that good or bad?
I think it's bad. I think it's bad. October 7th would be, if you're not too close to the political date of election.
September 16th.
we're close to the elections, which is
But
good.
people already settled in their school. They're already
That's
going to
true.
school, and they already came up
we're
with
not
their
in
date.
school yet.
What's that?
October 7th.
October 7th?
October 7th.
October 7th.
October.
Oh, October, okay, I thought you were talking.
It's a meeting day for us, so, and anyway, so we're not taking anybody else's day. And then that way, if public safety or whoever else wants to come. And then also just a point, Mike's not gonna have all the information, so we're gonna have to think about that later on too, like Tanya or other people with budget. We'll know some.
We'll have plenty of time to gather
Okay,
the
yeah.
appropriate
Yeah, to
resources.
grab
Okay, yeah. We grab a lot of people, yeah, that'd be fun.
I mean, for topics this big, and with the scope that we're kind of looking at, this is gonna be a team effort. We know that, and we have lots of time to put that team together. So we definitely don't necessarily need to get into the weeds of all that right now. But yeah, are we sort of coalescing around October 7th?
I like it. I like October 7th. Having 3 kids and knowing that they're all kind of settled into school by then. Is that kind of ideal?
Yeah, I like October 7th, and I like it at Glen Otto. I'm interested in the pickleball one, but I think Glen Otto, does it connect the focus of, this is our community? This is your community park, this is your community, like, did you even know you could rent out this place or use this space, you know?
The other advantage that I could, and not knowing for certain what the pickleball court's capabilities might be, but I suspect that we will have a lot more seating and chairs available at Glen Otto than pickleball courts were. I'm reasonably certain they're not set up to have a great deal of spectators.
There'll be a lot of bringing stuff in.
I don't know what Wednesday or if it's every Wednesday, but they have meetings at Lenado.
I can I'll double
Yeah.
check the date, because I only initially checked for weekends, so I can easily,
Anonymous.
Second date, you guys, though.
Yeah, let's do a backup.
and I'll double
I
check
know.
these dates too.
I feel like people didn't want to do Wednesday when we were asking because it's a night that people go to church. So it's a meeting night, so maybe a Tuesday or a Thursday instead of Wednesday. But, and then if there's a meeting at Glen Otto, we could just shift it one day. I like that first week of October though, the 6th, 7th, or
The
8th.
first full week of October. So yes, so Dakota, why don't we tentatively say someday that first week of October, or first full week of October.
Between Monday and Friday, not Friday, not
and we'll
Monday.
See what our availability is.
Got it.
Also, I think Tiffany, I think that's good because we can be promoting it all summer long. Anybody that's down there with the city can be like, this is coming, it's coming, we want you there. Information will be made available to you. You will be able to ask questions that you have questions. We'll have answers.
And there will be another champion before October.
I like that. That's important too.
So, yeah, we will have ample opportunity to publicize and pester people.
Well, is this something that we should also ask, in addition to the city manager, but the public works director to be there to answer questions, the development director to be there to answer questions, those sorts of things too, like have them involved? Or at the very least, maybe we could ask Travis, like, hey, could you do a public works projects update for us as one of our talks? Those sorts of things, so that we can actually be you've got questions, we're gonna be able to point you in the right direction. In fact, the person in charge of that department is here.
And it's certainly worth asking. The worst that Travis can say is no. Or some knowledgeable delegate between Travis and Jonah and Erica and whoever. And then barring their own availability and willingness, and whether or not they have the spoons to be able to do it at that time, which at this early they may not even know. at the very least, we can ask for material input that we can have available to be able to hand out or direct people to or help us answer questions pertaining to whatever topic.
So, I appreciate that, thank you. And in my personal opinion, going back to the city council meeting where we were pulled in to talk about what all of our groups are doing, community development as well as public works were also asked to be there. And so I think it would be only fair and appropriate that both of those departments were available for our Grand City House Town Hall.
I just had an opinion that maybe it would be up to Mike to decide based on whatever we've pulled together, whether he believes it's necessary for them to be there.
Yeah.
Because, it's giving another one of their nights up and, but if the city manager feels that it's important based on what we're trying to accomplish, I'm sure he'll say, you need to be there. Otherwise, maybe he won't, I don't know.
Yes, this is gonna be assuming we can pull this off, this is gonna be a pretty grand event for the city, and
An annual one.
yeah, maybe we can do it, make it a regular one, and to that end, the thought that just occurred to me is as far as giving some assistance, pulling this together and organizing this and making sure we have thought of what we need to pull this off. It would be worth having a chat with Marley, since talking to somebody who regularly pulls off large-scale city events. Yeah. First full week of October, we've got some sort of large 10,000-foot view ideas on what and format.
I think we'll narrow those more down as we get closer.
As we get closer, those will get refined.
Maybe I would say, I think August is a good time to make sure we have those kind of dialed in so we can talk to the appropriate people to see if they'll be able to attend, sort of thing. I think the next thing for right now, time. What time should we do it at?
Oh, boy.
I like the blend. I think Will was saying like blend a little bit early, going into the evening, like 4 to 8 or 3 to 7, something like that. So people can go before dinner or before, or like after dinner or come home from work.
And so, yeah, so I like that idea. And then we think about, we don't necessarily have to decide this now, but have our headliners towards the end of it, so that we get, because I would think we would get most of the people after normal working hours.
Maybe like open house refreshments mixer sort of thing from 5 to 7 or 7:30, and then at a certain time, this is
7 o'clock, our headliners, our headline presentation and Q&A.
Go on to that.
Diane, 5 to 7 too, I was thinking that we could have some boards that if we write, what are your concerns, what do you want to know, or, any informational type of things that we could put up there, or also we can also gather some questions from them, not to say they'll be answered that night, or I don't know how to do that, but at least it's a good data gathering opportunity.
Last minute question gathering.
Well, what do you like about Troutdale? What do you not like about Troutdale? What are your questions or whatever? That could be part of the mixer so that they have some information to engage with the different committees that we do have, the different committees and what nights they do meet. Your opportunity, typically, like when do we people register to try to be on a committee? Do you know what I mean? All those like public engagement, some of those different things. So those could always be up. And then our big topic for the 7 to 9 is, like the police and fire. People need to get in front of it, they need to get introduced to it, so there's no surprises later. Find out, are they gonna get to vote? Are they gonna go like, okay, can you pick District 2 or District, whatever the districts are? Or do you wanna start your own? I don't know what the questions would be coming from, but yeah, but they need to, like I said, when, I was thinking when the budget meeting happened, I go, there was no public engagement. What, they're already gonna fund this? That was my issue with this community communication and community input. Not that I was one way or the other, because, when I was presenting that night, it's like, did we think about all the things? So again, no surprises. So they have to have those opportunities to engage, and then also at that meeting, we could say, maybe council knows when they're gonna meet again, or when you all are gonna meet again, some other opportunities, if not just on that date, when will these topics potentially be discussed? So that they have opportunities at a later time, or to tell them, go watch a video. This is the way you can engage, watch the videos from, the previous videos that, have already happened.
I think we can fill in the topics and the headliners as we go, and I 100% agree that should be pinned up there. Just kind of throwing it out there as maybe other ideas that we could have for talks would be possibly an update on the confluence, what's going there, where we at with that.
We have an update by then?
We could, well, at least to let people know, here's where we're at, and then it's at least the top. I don't know, I'm just throwing, we can pull the list and.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
What should go up and what should go down. I know you're working on the Second Street Bridge, like if that's going on, is there a Q&A and a polling or an update on that? We could do a Sharon Nesbitt Park show-off talk. And then maybe go into some new things going on with parks that are happening. We could, updates on public work projects and the 257th update. For me, I know that was a big one that came up recently for us, and as we now created a whole new sheet based on it. But, hey, here's what you need to know about what's happening in Troutdale, and this is how you can find out about it. And by the way, here's the click it and fix it link.
We're a complaint-driven community. If you have an issue in your neighborhood, you gotta go here to fill out a complaint. If a stop sign is run over by a truck,
Maybe
it's here,
So, we can fill in the topics and get what we want on the agenda there to go through. But yeah, again, I think 100% without getting into it, that 100% needs to go.
Shelby, I just happen to have the dates, so I'll just tell you about the champion deadlines for the next issue that will come out, that's July, August, and September. The deadline for articles is June 1st.
Wow.
But if you have something small, she can work those things in, and it absolutely is to the printer by the 25th of June. That's their schedule. So for our event, I kind of feel like we'd love to do a precursor, but it wouldn't fall. We really, it would be on the October, November, December calendar. But I just don't know if we want to write an article to say this is coming, and, I don't know.
save the date.
Save the
date.
date,
Flyer.
I don't know, we
Yeah.
might.
Just to save the date, like, in a name.
And a name, we have to come up
So,
with a
like,
name.
what about the city summit, Troutdale City Summit? Summit, is that?
I think it sounds too formal. I like the idea of the creativity, but if you're not used to government and stuff like that, that sounds scary to me. It's like summit. It's like, what is that? I don't know. I think City of Troutdale open house. Simple. It's like who are citizens advisory, or I don't know technically what.
Community government or community open house, yeah.
You want to drive them to want to come and find out more, so I don't know.
And it has, I know that it's not, the name isn't necessarily ideal and it has distinctly political connotations, but the concept of town hall is actually pretty apt with what we're trying to accomplish. And it is a term that is well familiar to most of the public as a forum to come and learn stuff. and possibly give information back. So this, we, as much as I appreciate the desire for creativity, this may fall into the keep it simple category.
It could be called Troutdale Open House and Town Hall.
Yeah, which
Because-
to a certain extent, we're doing both.
Yeah, because that's
That
what.
is the hybrid
Yeah,
approach.
Will was talking about the hybrid, so, because we have that mingle and whatever, and have beverages and read resources and out, have submit questions or whatever, and.
Yeah, split the difference and do both.
What do you think, Will?
You guys decide.
I'm sure if we're not writing an article, we're just doing save the date, we have till the end of, later in June, we don't have to, but it's an article, she's gotta fit in a lot of verbiage, she has to know how long pages it's going to, so.
Well, unfortunately, if it's due by if it's just a blurb,
Yeah, that's why.
6:25, so we should make a decision in June at our
Yeah,
June
we can
meeting
do our
for
June
sure.
meeting, yeah.
I do like the idea of town hall, open house and town hall.
6-1.
It's got everything.
After the deadline, probably.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, I have submitted stuff to her, and I go, oh, I probably missed the deadline. I think I submitted something in March, mid-March, or whatever. And she said, oh, no, yours is easy. I got a little spot for it, it's no problem.
Should we proactively reach out and say, hey, we're gonna finalize it at our?
I'm sure a save the date is so little, it's not gonna be.
Oh, I'll email her and let her know that we're going to have a small little save the date, type thing. It'll be like a square box.
Details to be finalized.
Yeah. So I'm
More
sure it'll be
information
no
to come.
problem. We can do it after our June meeting.
So I'll let her know that it's coming and she'll save a spot for it.
Rebecca,
sorry.
It's so interchangeable, I get it all the time. Yeah, it's in our name. So now we got a date or a possible date and time. I wonder, I love the idea of involving the local businesses. I think the more we can get samples, or they can come and pass out, or, I know Tiffany's always talking about a raffle that pulls people in. They'll stop by for 5 minutes to put their name in a raffle and maybe win, a free pizza from Lolo's, something like that. So now we can start thinking about how we get the drawing, or gosh, ask the fire, please, do they want to bring a fire truck so the kids can see it? And what kind of things can we draw in the different segments, the families, the kids, the people who care about this or that?
Fire truck would take up a lot of parking spots.
Yeah.
Right there, down
Right, and be on the side, by the trees and stuff, but yeah, I guess reaching out, asking what they would be interested in doing,
Yeah, we've done things down there where they set up their food cart.
Right? Yeah.
Remember,
food cart?
remember doing I forget what we were there for. We were passing out those water bottles.
Oh, it's Summerfest, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah.
there was a few food carts there.
We have Troutdale swag. Can you
Oh,
do a
and
raffle and win a Troutdale
Marley's
water
got all
bottle?
sorts of
Yeah,
stuff.
I think that's a lot of time. I mean, our biggest thing is the trout pens. I feel like that's our biggest.
I think Roger still has that reel.
Oh, yeah, he got a wheel, didn't he? Yeah.
I just had a fun idea. Sorry, this is getting the weeds, but we could do a little booth, a little video photo booth where people can record 5-10 seconds of what do you like most about living in Troutdale, and we can use that for social media. You know what I mean? And do blurbs every month or week, and just showcase our citizens, get a little fun kind of thing. Make little cardboard things being in Troutdale.
The trout classes.
Right? Yeah. But yeah, I think it'll be fun. A mix of fun and getting to know each other, and then learning. It's gonna be really great.
I think we have stuff to do.
So I guess a quick question for that, maybe it's a Marley question, but how do we go about activating local businesses, the fire department, finding somebody who would want to volunteer their photo booth, you know, should that, we want to start making phone calls, or is there a procedure for that?
I'll have to double check with Marley. She's been out of town on vacation for the last week or two. So when she gets back, I'll let her get settled in, and I'll ask.
Yeah, I don't mind doing that. I love doing that stuff.
Cool. That's great to know too, because it might just be that. She might not have anything. I'm not sure if she has, like, if there's a process we have to, so I'll just double check if there is. If there isn't, then yeah, then it's like, then let's go for it.
I guess the only thing for me is just making sure it's fair and equitable for everybody, meaning like, well, my first place I went to is here, and that's a churro place, so that other place can't come because there already is one, you know what I mean? Like,
Oh, right.
or like.
I would think any place can do it. The only thing is that politics-wise, if you invite Gresham Fire, they are considering on the things, different districts and different things, so I'm not sure that would be appropriate.
And we still have them for
If
3
you
years.
get what I'm saying? They may not, what's that?
We have them for 3 years. They're still our fire
Oh,
department.
for 3 years. So the funding that they're talking about, whatever, that's not going to change anytime soon?
Not the fire district.
The fire will not.
I don't think so.
Well, I'm just saying to vet, you know what I mean, just when it comes to anything that, you know, because, yeah.
I mean, it's possible, but every time I'm at a meeting, we have them for 3 years. We have them for 3 years. So,
I think we have an opt-out clause, but
Yeah, I thought there was
we
an
do
egg.
have an opt-out, but
we have so much homework to do before then. It's,
they're focusing on police. And then there's a whole bunch of things to do the fire district. It takes a lot of time.
Okay, Diane, that's very good to know, because then we know that the focus is police right now. Because that was budgeted, and they're talking about maybe not having.
Both, but I'm just saying,
we need to talk about both.
yeah, the fire,
They're intertwined.
Okay.
yeah, the fire just takes, because you have to put it on a ballot.
Hey, we're all gonna learn something at that open house town hall, aren't we? Because if we get informed, that's just bonus there, right? And then we can invite the other committees, and we could tell them, come, well, again, they could have a little food too or whatever. We're talking about the open house fun part, 5 to 7. The other committees can have a little.
So going back to time, are we thinking 4 hours, 3 hours? What were those times? I'm just writing it down, so.
No less than 4.
And I'm gonna go past 9.
Agreed.
Yeah, allow for, I'd say 4 to 5. All right, 4 to 5 hours. I run like 4 to 8 or something like that, because I allow 2 or 3 hours for open house, and then an hour and a half for the headliner presentation and Q&A. Allowing for a large group to get animated, depending on how things go.
No, I just had to write it down, so I
Just for clarification, are we thinking just one headliner or like multiple? In my mind, it was like 2 or 3 topics. They just do like a 10-minute thing, 10 or 15-minute Q&A, boom, you're gone. 10-minute.
We can file that on the TBD, because we know at least one that we're definitely going to want to include, and whether or not.
I don't think it can be done in 10 minutes, so.
Yeah, well, and I was just gonna say, is like, one of the biggest reasons we want to do, particularly put the public safety stuff in this kind of format, because we are all learning this is horrendously complicated stuff. And it's not something that can be easily communicated in a short Champion article or a Facebook blurb or a quick conversation. So, yeah, I'd say as far as more, we'll file that in we'll see.
So I think it would be appropriate to communicate our intention early to Mike and anyone else, like, hey, this is what we want to do. do. And so we are next month putting a save the date in, so, you know, let's please understand, we're hoping to have you there for this. Same thing with any other, I guess the next ones we can kind of figure out, but that's kind of a big one, if that's gonna be our big headliner.
Dakota, would you be able to talk to Mike and see if he might be willing to come to our June meeting? We can discuss this in more detail directly.
Yep.
This is Tiffany. Also, how many different, do we have all the committees represented on our,
And within the CAC regs, we have everybody represented.
so we can, at our meetings this month, except Parks doesn't have a meeting this month, sorry. We can tell our committees, this is happening.
Yeah.
And our goals, and that we want one to two or more of them to attend to like share about their committee, talk and answer questions, yeah.
Pass the word around, certainly.
Shelby, I think though we might also need to go get the blessing from city council that we want to do this.
Well,
I
yeah.
don't think we should be getting into this. We might need to go make sure that they're like, oh yeah, this is cool, you guys.
True.
Lost any money, but.
It's certainly, definitely, I mean, we will want to, and I know the concept of a town hall was something that was, I mean, when all of us were in front of council, that there was something that was mentioned as something that we were planning. So I mean, at some level, they're sort of aware that we're looking to do it. But as things solidify, yes, we will definitely want to get on city council's agenda and give them a heads up as to what precisely we're intending to do.
I think what we have to, before we actually secure the date, don't you think we have to get their blessing that we can move forward on this? We go plan all this, talk to people, save the date, and, oh, by the way, city council, we want to do this.
Sure.
Do you have a meeting next
Although,
week?
We can just do it in, I mean, like I said.
Yeah, we can just
do it in a non-agenda item.
Non-agenda public comment. I'm happy to do that.
Yeah.
I'm happy to do that, and, cause, I don't know what everybody else's thoughts are, but, I mean, especially given the feedback that we got at the big committee night, I can't fathom that they would say no.
But I think it's good.
It is a good idea.
Here's the
to
3
do
days
it.
we're looking
Yeah.
Here's the reason why we want to do it during this time frame. We took surveys, people said they wanted
Yeah.
weeknights more than weekends. We're trying to do it on an off week, so you guys don't have to go to a meeting on a Tuesday and then on a Wednesday. We're not doing it a week that you're meeting, like.
Oh, yeah, I can, yeah, if that's something that the group thinks is important, I am happy to go to council, and just during non-agenda public comment, give a heads up and get, say, a tentative blessing.
Yeah.
Hey, remember when we were there and they said, I think it was Jeffrey, one said, what do you want from us? We want them to show up at a town.
Yes, I do. Yes, we do.
Right?
Specifically said that, yeah.
That's what we want them to do, and explain to us, like we're young children, how this is all going to work.
So, yeah,
Respectful, intelligent.
I will,
And no
I will
one's gonna
plan on
complain, right?
going to city council next week and,
When is that?
the 12th.
Thank you.
Maybe we'll have a date by then too.
Maybe.
And hopefully Mike will already be aware of it, right? Because we're gonna ask him.
Yep, I'll reach out to him this week.
Okay.
But yeah, on that note about city council mayor, like they should have their booth too. Come meet your city council and mayor.
Yes, love it.
It's unlikely we'll
Maybe
get
a
all of
dunk
them,
tank.
but,
We could do a dunk tank.
Oh my gosh.
That would bring people in.
Yes, I will.
Come on. Maybe bring that up. Ask him if anybody would be willing to sit in a dunk tank.
Now you're just bringing up bad memories of high school.
Or good memories, depending on who you got dunked.
I was just gonna ask, but who's getting done?
Diane had a good point. I know this goes into that.
Unless they're running.
Unless they're running, so maybe.
Yes, that could be a thing. But yeah, we can file that away as a future problem. All right, anything else on the town hall before we move on to staff communications?
I mean, I guess, is there anything that I can be doing between now and the next meeting to help advance this? As far as, is it too early to talk to businesses? Is it too early to?
Nope. If you have the contacts and the wherewithal to
Just
go,
be cold calling and door knocking. I guess maybe we should also maybe have, let's just see if Marley can come in next week and talk with us about the event and her contacts.
yeah, you can ask Marley too. Although, I mean, our June meeting, Marley is probably gonna be
Really busy.
She'll probably be
busy with First Friday.
Yeah.
So that would probably be a tall order.
I could just talk to her and see if she has anything she can send me and I can bring it. Yeah. So, in preparation for the June meeting.
So Marley and I can talk.
Or yeah, I mean, yeah, like I said, she gets back, I think Monday is her first day back. So I'd give her a week to get settled, since she's probably got thousands of emails to slog through. But then, yeah, I think you can always reach out to her directly, obviously. She's totally fine with that.
And then on top of that, just make sure that this month throughout May that everyone brings it up in their other committee. Gets that going. Unless your committee is not.
I tried to get them to, they didn't want to.
If Marley gets back on Monday, she's gonna dive right into Arts Festival stuff.
I'm the chair, and I'm
Yeah, I think I was just looking at our calendar, our outage calendar.
showing up and saying stuff anyway, so.
Yeah, she's still out. She's back on Monday. She's out this week.
Everyone's in her email.
She's in Italy. Yeah.
Righty. Staff communications?
Okay, yeah, what's been going on? A lot. So I'm just going right off the top of my head right now. First and foremost is we have planning commission next week. We have the continuation from the April 8th meeting for the Halsey Gateway Overlay Code Amendment package. That was first brought to City Council on April 8th for brought to Planning Commission on April 8th for recommendation to Council. It's continued till May 13th. The other application that's going to Planning Commission next week is a continuation from the April 29th special hearing for the Home Forward Monument sign. So those will both be heard next week. The packet just went out just today. So Adrian, Kevin, you guys should have gotten that today.
Yep.
Trying to think of any. I have several night meetings. That's because it all span around that meeting and then City Council on 26th, based on the recommendation, whatever the recommendation may be from Planning Commission for the Halsey Gateway Overlay. Pull up the forward-looking calendar really quickly. I know Nick has been working on the fire grant, focused on Sandy Palisades. They're getting together a flyer that will be going out. It's a little trifold flyer that's going out to all the residents, talking about the project, showing directing them to the website where the evacuation map is going. They're working on signage right now to be going up within the subdivision. We have the next meeting for the EOA next Tuesday, I believe it is. So we kicked that off last month. We have our next meeting next week.
So that's the economic opportunities analysis that I spoke about at the last meeting. It'll be from 1 to 2:30 p.m. on May the 14th. Last time I was the only person there that was a citizen and wasn't being paid to be there, so I would love to invite other people to come and tune in. Not that anything spicy was happening, but nonetheless, I'm just more citizen involvement.
Did you say Tuesday or did you say Thursday? You said May 14th?
14th.
So that's Thursday.
Yes.
Okay, Thursday, not Tuesday.
Oh, it is on Thursday, you're correct. I was looking at another meeting on my calendar. Try to look at my calendar for these things and
1 to 2:30, where's it at?
All online.
Oh, it's all online.
yeah.
It's all Zoom.
Okay.
I don't know. Again, I'm not involved in the Second Street Bridge. I'm sure there might be another invite that has gone
I
out.
don't think that one has been, the next meeting.
Not
is
scheduled yet.
Because I don't recall having seen anything from Erica on that.
It probably hasn't been scheduled yet. So those are the big long-term projects. Planning Commission directed staff at last week's meeting to start taking a look at our sign code and updating our sign code just for clarity purposes. So staff's about to jump into that. Sign code is a very dense code. Most people really dislike sign code. It's a very confusing, legally hot topic at times. But luckily, our wonderful director, Erica, she loves sign code, which makes her a little crazy. But she just got done doing a whole bunch in Sherwood before she came out here. So she's ready to go. So we'll be diving into that over the next several months and working with Planning Commission as well. And that'll ultimately be a code amendment package that will be going to Planning Commission for recommendation and City Council for adoption. We haven't started the discussions on that yet. It was just last week, but we will be diving into that amongst other code amendments that will be coming out over the next year.
So, this is Tiffany, just a question. Sign code, like what signs people can put outside their businesses?
Exactly.
What they can say
Permitted
and
signs.
can't say, and how big they are, and what they look
Signs,
like?
banners, flags.
How big they are, wall signs, monument signs, freestanding signs, temporary signs, not what they can say. That's where the legal aspect comes into it. We are not able to govern that. But yeah, just like size based on zone, location, cleaning up some of the language. Right now, our sign code, it's not terrible. I've seen worse, but there are kind of looping areas. You read this one section, okay, you go to this other section, that brings you back over the same section. So there's just kind of like weird loops that go on in there. We have some kind of gaps that staff feel can be filled with better language and adding maybe a couple of things. So again, we haven't dove into it too much. It's just been a topic for ever since I started that our sign code needs to be updated. I think, personal opinion, we haven't talked about this as staff, this is just me. I think our lighting standards need to be updated for signs as well, just because since it was last updated as far as illumination, there's been so much more technology that's come out with LEDs and brightness levels and things like that. So I think we can update that. Again, don't know if we will, don't know if that's something that Planning Commission or even our director wants to look into. That's just a personal opinion. So we'll see as we dive into that. It'll be a longer process, but we probably won't start that until June, maybe late June, early July is what I'm kind of feeling out right now. I know we just got Nick has had several pre-application meetings over the last several weeks, so he's getting all those notices out. And then we just received another pre-application meeting today at the very end of the day, so that we haven't even looked at yet, so not sure what that's for. But that's very typical of the time of year. We always get a lot of pre-apps around this time because people want to see what they need to do to submit their application, to get approval, so they can start building before the end of summer.
Would signs also include like how tall love sign can be? Love's, things like that.
Yeah, like, it has height requirements and things. There are, and right now our sign code does regulate things like that, but we don't specifically call out, say, pole signs. So it can regulate. It's just, I think that's where there's some stuff that needs to be cleaned up. They are regulated, but there's just a little. There's a lot of gray area, and I feel as a planner we love gray area because that allows us to do our job. It's about how you interpret things. However, when there's too much gray area, it can get a little bit. We need it to be just narrowed down. So that's our kind of goal. Is just needs cleaning up. We're not going to rewrite the whole thing. The bones are good. Just needs some cleaning up. Yeah. So it won't be a massive project, but it just sign code always just takes some time to make sure it's done right.
Love's is a good example because when they were doing all of their remodeling, they wanted to put in a second big sign to direct cars to where they needed to go separate from the trucks. And they had to get a variance for that because that put too many large signs on their frontage. Mm-hmm. So they had, and that was approved obviously because it's a good idea. But they did have to get a variance approved from Planning Commission on the sign code.
That's it for me.
That's it?
Yeah.
All righty. Go to committee member comments. Kevin, we'll start with you.
Thank you. I have nothing to add. Thank you all for the lively discussion. That's it.
All right. Go around the circle. Victoria?
The Public Safety Services Delivery Group meeting is May 18th, at 6:30, if you want to come. And I was thinking the fire trucks here, and the hats and stuff.
Or the little badge stickers.
I was actually going to mention it tomorrow at the meeting. Anyway, hi Kevin, I hope your wedding went well. You didn't hear me.
My what?
Was it your daughter's wedding?
Yeah, my stepdaughter got married in New Orleans
Yeah.
2 weeks ago, and it went very well. Thank you.
Chris?
Well, guess I'll say thank you all for another meeting, and I will look forward to next month. And it's a little late, but I didn't see any of you at the appropriate time, so I guess I'll say May the 4th be with you.
Yeah, I'm just very, very excited that we have a date, we have a plan, and I'm just, I think, I just want to say, like, I feel like us just doing it, giving it a try is success. And I just really hope that as we're planning this, that we just stay grounded in our mission, which is of course the goal number one of, the Troutdale plan, which is do something to invigorate and get more comment, get more involvement. And I just want to say I'm very excited and proud to be a part of this event and this try. And I just say that because we're giving it a try and doing something different and out of the norm is success within itself. So very excited. Thank you.
I think this is a really good, productive meeting. I'm excited to see how this comes together over the next few months. I think I'm friends with Lisa Northcraft, who is involved in Dakota Coffee, and I don't know if you on Planning Commission, Kevin's on Planning Commission too, if you guys saw her write-up about, did you get to read that?
I did, yeah.
It was so fantastic. She should be a writer. She wrote a Facebook post about her experience sitting in the audience and said such nice things about people smiling at her. And it was, I mean, if you can look it up, it's on Facebook. It was a really, really nice comment, well-written, and it was a good experience for her. And that was really fun to read, being that I, see it from somebody that gets to sit out there and talk to the people up here. So well done, Planning Commission. That was a good experience for them.
Was that on the City of Troutdale page?
No, it's on her personal page. She wrote up a whole thing about it on her personal page. I can share it with you if you want me to. I don't know if we're friends on Facebook, but it was a really good read. And it said a lot of good things. Like I said, it was nice to read somebody's experience from sitting out there. And she said really good things about you, so that you presented for them and were great to work with. So well done, Dakota. Little golf clap for that. I participated in the Earth Day activity we did with parks, and lots of people came out and we cut lots of ivy off trees. I didn't stay a super long time because I was not feeling 100%, but they had a lot of involvement, and I think it made a big difference in the wooded area next to the dog park and Columbia Park Imagination Station. I went to taking some graffiti off a sign, so I learned about a spray can, which now lives in the trunk of my car, and I've also taken graffiti off another sign with it because it works really, really well. So if you want to volunteer to pick up garbage or take off graffiti, Jonah's the one to ask about that. It's just gonna live in the trunk of my car. It cuts right through that stuff. So I got to clean up a sign and move some signs around that I've been asking them to do for a long time. And I got one of the parks people to help me do it. Some directional signs about how to get to the dog park from 18th Circle. So I thought that was a very productive day for parks. And that was great. And I think that's all I have to share right now.
I was gonna ask Dakota, what's happening with the gym and Old City Hall?
Have not had any updates on Old City Hall. The gym is currently working through building permits. They have an approved sign permit. I think they're just looking for a contractor. They're selecting a contractor to do the work, but they have building permits in. They're currently in review. So they're moving right along.
I will say they have a trailer in the parking lot now.
Oh, okay.
Fitness on it,
Okay.
as of today.
Okay.
My husband keeps asking me about it, and I'm like, I haven't seen anything. And today, when I went to the Dollar Tree, there's a big trailer that says "Come Fish It," and I'm like, that's something.
Okay.
Something's changing. So
Okay, so that's good to know.
I have not heard any sort of update on Old City Hall.
I mean, I could see that they've started
Deck.
building a deck, but I just thought, oh, maybe they've got somebody on and it's gonna be happening fast.
All I heard, there was some speculation that there was a brewery in Gresham that was looking to relocate over here. I can't remember the name of it, and they were looking at the Old City Hall. I don't know if they've signed on anything. I don't know if they've done anything. They were just calling around. So I'm not sure if they're going to be moving in there or not, but they were looking at expanding, getting a larger space. Potentially, that could be going in. That's the last, I don't even know if that's an update, because I don't know if it's for sure or not. So.
Otherwise, thank you all for a great meeting. I'm excited about our upcoming event.
Same, this will be fun. I think the timing is good, and I look forward to engaging with community and learning for us how to do outreach to even get them there, which would be good for us too. And I like the idea that you want to include businesses. I look forward to, and I can help too if you're wanting to see. I don't know if we're doing raffle or donations, we could decide that at a later time, but I like the idea of promoting local business as well, because that's part of our community. And ask Sugar Pine too, because they're really close, you know. I make some cookies or something, but anyway, so lovely evening, and thank you to everybody.
Yeah, great meeting, and to build on what everybody said, just a reminder that the success of the event is on all of our individual participation outside of this meeting time. And there will be additional lifts that need to happen, and the more that each one of us volunteers to take on a small task, we're not leaving anyone with a big lift on their own. And also, we're not just going to pile this on together and say, make this event happen. This is really, the success of this event comes from the people in this room and how much we participate. So, put that challenge out to us all, and let's help encourage each other and hold each other accountable for what's come up.
You have a couple things I forgot to mention. One is I did send out, sorry, it was a little delayed, the notice or the public hearing checklist to everybody late this afternoon. Take a look at it. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, that just added all the edits we made at last meeting, send them my way. I can make those. If I don't hear anything in a little bit, probably by the next meeting, I'll say it's good to go. We'll get it up on the website. Next is, thank you for reminding me, Dakota Coffee was approved at last Planning Commission meeting on the 29th there for a coffee roaster and small coffee going into the old artistry building downtown. So they're a small coffee roaster. And then the last thing is our code enforcement officer, Joe, will be out this month. So if there's any, if you need anything, you can call us, but if there's any sort of complaints or anything like that that you need to let us know, it's best to do the online form. That's how we can track it and report it. And then we do have one of our building techs is stepping in for him while he's out. But she does get his phone calls, but it's easier for her to track through the online system. Because if it goes to his voicemail, we don't have access to his voicemail. So if someone calls and it goes to the voicemail, call again. Or do the online form is the most important thing to do. So I was going to give that up.
I apologize. What was it you said you sent out, the first thing?
It's the public comment checklist that we worked on in the last meeting. I just sent out the final version. I printed out a couple. I think there might be one more over here. I just printed out a couple, but I did send them out in an email this afternoon.
Just a couple things that I had. One, ditto, again, I appreciate everybody's involvement and input on these things. The rising discussion always makes these better, even if they do take a little longer. Reminder for people, there's a community walk scheduled tomorrow morning at Sharon Nesbitt Park. 10 to 11:30, and then this Saturday is the May Troutdale game day. I encourage people to come out 1 to 6 p.m. right next door in the CCS building. You can come play games, and that is pretty much all I had. So I will look for a motion to adjourn.
Shelby Stephenson, I motion that we adjourn.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Good night, everybody.